Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome in our program Islam and Community Counseling. Today, we have chosen a very important aspect of our lives. Naturally, every time we come here with a new dimensional approach, obviously, the purpose for such topics is very simple: to understand Islam and to explore the exact meaning of life. In this connection, we have selected Islam and community ethics as a topic for today's discussion, and luckily we have our two important guests in our studio. Before going to introduce our today's guest speakers, I would like to see what is meant by community ethics and what is correlationship between Islam and community ethics. Being a Muslim, this is our belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed upon Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam Quran, and this holy book has given us a complete code of ethics and code of conduct. Obviously, those who are Orientalists, non-Muslims, they have recognized this fact that Quran is a comprehensive encyclopedia of ethics and social life. And the spiritual aspects of life have also been discussed. That's why Quran says, "Wala ratbin wala yabis illa fi kitabim mubin." Everything has been discussed in this beautiful book. It is not only a book just to read. It invites humanity to act upon the formula which leads you towards your destination and success. In this connection, we have to understand what Quran is giving us. If we are sincere with our family, with community, with other people, we have to be very careful to understand the message of Quran. The message of Quran related to our business, private life, which is called personal life, community life, and relation of Muslim community with other non-Muslim community. So everything has been discussed. Apart from all this, while we look at Quran, Quran says it is Shifa. Shifa means it would satisfy you. It would heal. What kind of healing is that? Your mental approach, your questions, your hidden inside aspects of life. What you understand, oh, I want to have answer to my question from Quran. Obviously, if you look the work done by the scholars, inshallah you will see that everything has been discussed through Quranic spectrum, and the aspect of life have been covered and controlled by hadith and Quranic injunctions. In this connection, without any delay, I would introduce today's guest. Our first renowned guest is Brother Mustafa Fadil Ansari. He is a renowned scholar. You would be watching him so many times through QTV, and today, luckily, he is with us. Brother Mustafa Fadil Ansari Sahab, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you in your program. And second guest for the program is Hafiz Dr. Nisar Ahmad Marfani. He is a well-known Nathwa, but by profession, he is a medical doctor. So, Brother Hafiz Dr. Nisar Ahmad Marfani, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
Welcome in our program Islam and Community Counseling.
Thank you very much for inviting me as well.
So, dear brothers and sisters, this was a slight introduction of our guest. Before our conversation, following our tradition, we would request Hafiz Dr. Nisar Ahmad Marfani. He is, apart from his professionalism, he is a renowned, well-known Nathwa who recites Naat or presenter of Naat or spiritual poems he recites. So today we would request Hafiz Dr. Nisar Ahmad Marfani to recite one of the best Naat in Arabic. MashaAllah.
صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وسلم عليك يا حبيب الله يا رسول الله 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 يا حبيب الله بالبدء أولانا ربي وهنانا إذ أحمد جانا نورا وإيمانا بالبدء أولانا ربي وغنانا إذ أحمد جانا نورا وإيمانا حبيبي يا حبيبي 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 والحمد قد حانا منا لمولانا والسعد غطانا سرا وإلنا حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي صلى وسلم من أولاء الورى مننا آل النبي زمنا سيرا وإعلانا حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي صلى وسلم من أولى الورى مننا آل النبي زمنا رب على شانا حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي حبيبي يا حبيبي
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, Brother Nisar Ahmad Marfani. MashaAllah, very well recited, and it was, I believe, that the name of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has filled our hearts.
Beshak.
And by now, while we are involved in this zikr, so zikr of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam takes us to the zikr of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala.
Beshak.
So this is barakah, this blessing of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala.
Jazakumullah.
So, Brother Mustafa Fadil Ansari Sahab, while we say community ethics, what is meant by this?
Ethics as such is a discipline which deals with the right and wrong, the principles of right and wrong. There's a value system there. But when we talk of ethics and we connect it with Islam, we have to go back a little. And we have to see the fact that Islam gives us the most comprehensive, the most scientific code of life. And that code of life emanates from the revelation which is contained in the Quran. And since we as Muslims believe that Islam is comprehensive in every way, Islam also provides us the ethical bearings the ethical codes, the ethical mode of behavior.
Yeah.
And this emanates, this in fact draws our attention to a very important point, which is that if we study the Quran, the concept of God itself is that of an ethical God, which again relates or deals with the human beings who are the Khalifatul Ard, Fillah, Khalifatul Ard, vice president of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this earth.
You're referring to the ayah of Inni Jalul fil Ardi Khalifa.
Fil Khalifa.
So,
yeah.
There are very important dialogues between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
Yes.
and the angels, and how the people would be living in this world and how they would be behaving with each other, and the psychological aspect of those important situational change were discussed. And these are the leading principles for today's community ethics.
As vicegerents of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
As vicegerents. Now, as vicegerents, what are we required to do? We're required to imitate the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
And of course, Quran says very clearly that the best attributes are those of Allah. Right?
Yeah.
So when we are to imitate those attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we consequentially develop into those beings which are, in most of the ways, can be considered as the perfect beings.
Yeah.
Because we are imitating the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
The attributes of kindness, the attributes of compassion, the attributes of forgiveness, the birr.
Yeah.
You see? And I mean, on all these attributes, once we start imitating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can see what kind of a community develops, what kind of individuals develop, and what kind of interaction between the individuals and a society develops. So, referring to your question, when we talk about community ethics, it is basically the ethics which have been drawn from the hikmah of the Quran. And the baseline is that we have to imitate the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to develop into a fine society. A society which can claim to be the Khalifatul Allah, the vicegerent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Very true. Brother Dr. Nisar Ahmed Marfani, you're living outside Pakistan, living in Zimbabwe, and obviously you're professionally you're attached with medical field. So we would be discussing about that, but we have to go for a short break. Brothers and sisters, we are going for a short break, but there's a request. Please stay with us. We are coming back soon. Dear viewers, welcome back in our program Islam and Community Counseling, and today we are discussing about Islam and community ethics. And before our short break, we wanted to continue with a question to Brother Dr. Nisar Ahmed Marfani. And before this question, I would request all of you who are watching this program, this is for you, and you would be watching numbers. The numbers are for you. You can call us, you can contact us, and inshallah, our experts are here who will be giving you answer to your questions. You're more than welcome. Please contact, call. We are waiting for your call. So you're living in Zimbabwe. Obviously, you're working there as a doctor, medical doctor, and you have your attachment with different communities, not only Muslims, also non-Muslims. They come to you.
Yeah.
How do you treat them when you talk to them? What kind of your professional ethics allows you to talk to them, or how do you promote Islamic culture before non-Muslims?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What we have learned and what we have been taught by our teachers here when I started my medical education, and beside that I'm Hafiz al-Quran as well. So what we have learned from our childhood, the behavior towards your youngsters and towards your elders. But medical science taught us three type of things, very important, which actually which authorized, there is no need to authorize, but which accepts what Islam has taught it before.
Yeah.
Like during my medical education, we have come across three things, very important. Doctor-doctor relationship, patient-doctor relationship, doctor-patient relationship. These are three basic things we have to learn, and we have to keep this in our mind.
Okay.
Now, actually, we come across a lot of patients in Zimbabwe. The most important is secret in our medical field. Which type of secret I'm talking about? Like if the person comes to you, he's a patient. And where I'm staying in Zimbabwe, 97% literate people are there. And in Africa, the highest literacy rate in Africa. And unfortunately, they are HIV positive, most of them. The highest rate in Africa is HIV. Now, HIV is a disease which when people heard of this, they said, "Ish, this is not good." So what they want, they doesn't want to come, they don't want to meet the person who is HIV.
Yeah.
So when they come to our surgery, we call the clinic as a surgery. When they come to us, we have to give them that much of respect, which Islam has taught us before.
Yeah.
But what medical science has taught us now.
Yeah.
So these are the basic ethics we have to learn, and we have to expose ourselves. When they come, we stand up.
So you think being Hafiz al-Quran, you
Right.
memorized Quran, mashallah,
Alhamdulillah.
and you also received modern education.
It's true.
And while you have a combination of these two different subjects or two different disciplines, naturally you'll be having your own experience. So we would continue,
No
but
problem.
we have a caller. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Amina from Lahore.
Yeah,
Mashallah,
sister, welcome.
Mashallah, today a very beautiful and gorgeous personality sitting here. So can I talk to Dr. Nisar Mafani, please?
Yes, please. Yes, please. He is here.
Assalamu alaikum, Nisar bhai.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine, Nisar bhai. How are you? You are looking so sweet, mashallah.
Thank you very much. What you want to
I
talk
wanna
about this
request-
program?
Yeah, this program is very nice and very informative. And you're looking so gorgeous and so happy to see you.
Thank you.
I want to request you for Naat Balagalula Bikamalihi Kashafat Dujafi
Okay,
Bijamalihi. And I also want to request you to please.
Okay, Sister Amna, Alhamdulillah, we have noted your wish or your request, and inshallah, obviously these are only, this is very...
No, I know that.
So if you have time, inshallah, we will
Inshallah,
continue with this.
we'll.
Yeah, go for your question, please.
So that you were asking about Islam and what I have done, Hifz Quran, and what I am doing now as a medical doctor. So we have to give them certain, we have to categorize them in that way that we have to give them more respect.
Yeah.
So when they come in our surgery, we have to stand up and give them so much of respect, and we are even not allowed to discuss the case with the name of the patient, with our wives even. And even we have to ask them that if you are really interested, we can discuss with anyone else. But our Islam has already taught us the secrets are there. You mustn't
Yeah,
discuss with anyone unless you get the permission from them.
exactly.
So what we have learned, they are really, they inspired, and they think how beautiful these doctors are. Like if they have got that Islamic language and Islamic ethics, what they brought up in the environment and what they have learned from their parents and from their teachers while they were studying Islam, they're really impressed.
Have you experienced, because in Tasawwuf there is a proper procedure of healing, recitation of Quranic words or dua, the prayers which have been mentioned by Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam
yeah.
for such needy people or those who are facing these problems, because Quran is complete Shifa. So have you seen some people over there who would be telling them to recite Quranic specific words for
Myself.
healing? You do it?
Yeah, I'm doing.
Mashallah.
and
That's why I
alhamdulillah-
ask you.
No, alhamdulillah, I knew that what you are trying to
Yeah.
say. It's true, because what I have learned from my religious teachers here,
Mashallah.
that when you deal with your patient, you have to start with some of the Quranic ayah. And when I read like in a hidden form. I mustn't expose myself in front.
Yeah.
But sometimes I tell them, look, our Quran is so good. وَنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ.
Yeah.
Everything is in Quran. So sometimes they comes and they said, look, HIV is having no cure. But when I told them, look, we have got cure according to Quran. Quran is saying every disease has got Shifa in Quran. So sometimes they want to learn. But we need certain type of people who can teach them. But alhamdulillah, because of our profession, they are really...
Because you're a medical doctor, and I have observed through historical events or the recorded incidents which took place in the history, that they came to doctor or they came to a healer, and while they are cured and they wanted to have more interaction with the Islamic system, and then finally they became Muslim. MashaAllah. So, Brother Mustafa Ansari Sahab, what is your experience about community ethics? You have traveled around the world, so many people you have seen, non-Muslims. You think that Islamic ethics can influence some other brothers and sisters if we practice Islamic ethics in our lives?
I think one has to be the role model by himself.
Yeah.
And if one has tried to assimilate the real essence and the message of Islam,
Yeah.
then he would definitely be trying to become a proper Muslim. If he's becoming a proper Muslim, then he'll have to imitate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his attributes. And if he does that, if he tries to have that kind of kindness, that forgiveness, that compassion, you see, going out of the way to service people, you see, that hospitality, the hallmark of Muslims, right? And so many other distinguished qualities, attributes, which a person is trying to imitate in the path of becoming a Muslim. When he does that, he becomes one of those ideal persons who attract people automatically. I mean, wherever one, I mean, you can think about this, and I feel that the best example is the Holy Prophet ﷺ. 40 years it took, and then he gave the first message. And when he went there, and he said, if I were to say that there was an army of people coming from behind the hillock, would you believe me? They said, yes, because you're Sadiq al-Amin. You see? So actually the impact has to come. It will automatically come. And it'll be very forceful.
What is missing from today's Muslim community? What is missing? What is your observation? Because you're part of the Muslim community, and obviously you have seen so many things. What is missing?
I believe this is a relative thought again. I believe that people generally are hypocritical. They are not actually believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is just a farce, a belief that we say that we are believing, but we don't really believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's true. If we were to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow a little bit what has been given to us in Quran, I think we can be ideal human beings. We can have a perfect society. Maybe people may consider it a utopian dream, but I think it can come as a reality. You see, individuals have to follow the path as has been given to us, and it is a divine path, and I call it divine ethics.
Yeah.
So when everything has been spelled out so clearly, then what we really need to do is to give a little thought and see whether we really believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we do, are we following His command? Are we conforming to whatever parameters He has established for us to follow? Because ultimately, what is the outcome of this entire life? We have to be answerable for all our deeds.
Exactly. And Brother Marfani, what is your experience living in Zimbabwe, being a medical doctor? What is missing from Muslim community?
The main thing is trust.
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 Trust of what?
Trust
Trust of
everything. That what Hazrat has mentioned right now is the same thing in another scenario I am talking about. What you think? Am I right?
Trust in God
Has gone.
basically.
And what I have seen in non-Muslim community, like the Christianity, I've seen they are more compact, and they trust each other more than us.
Actually, what is missing, that we refer everything, but we have forgotten the basic message of Quran to have proper practice and to be a role model for others, applying all those principles in our lives, and we expect that other people would be following this. It's okay for them, But while there is a question to follow yourself, I would say, okay, I'll see it tomorrow, and tomorrow would never come. Obviously,
There's no tomorrow in life.
Yeah. What have you experienced youngsters from Muslim community? Still, they are in search of learning Quranic teachings in Zimbabwe. Or
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
They're not interested.
This is the most negative part in that part of the world.
Why? Why? Who is responsible for this?
Our, what you call, I won't say this, but it's true. Might be our teachings from our upper level.
Yeah, this is actually what
This is
we
missing.
are responsible.
It's true.
I must say that we are responsible because community begins from my home. And if I am sincere with Islam, I would learn by my own. I would learn how to read Quran. Then I would promote it in my home. I would ask my son and daughter to be a part of this community, be nice with others, take care of our neighbors, be respectful with either he is Muslim or non-Muslim, and respect for all. So this is Quranic teaching, and this is
But right
a
now
way
we are
of
not
life of
following.
Prophet. That's why Quran says it tells us so many things about humanity. So coming back to Brother Fadil Ansari Sahab, community ethics can be seen everywhere. Community ethics can be seen everywhere, and the term is being used so many times, but something is missing from that. We will come back to that question, but have to go for a short break as usual. So my brothers and sisters, with a request, we are going for a short break. Please stay with us.
Take out the time, what our parents did in their life, they have sacrificed. We have to be very committed in order to get our children, in order to grow them very nicely in a good religious environment. They must understand the ethics.
Exactly. And Brother Ansari Sahab, there are so many things to be mentioned regarding community ethics, but the major aspect,
I would like to say this.
How do you consider?
I would like to say this here. You touched upon it, and the brother here also touched upon it. You see, Quran says very clearly, وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض. ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك وقنا عذاب النار. The requirement that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has laid firmly embedded in the Quran. The command is clear. Afala yatadabbarun. We are not looking at the whole picture. You were talking about the lack of conviction.
Yeah.
How does lack of conviction develop? It develops because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And why do we have lack of knowledge? The lack of knowledge is because we are not concentrating on the one book which is divine book, which is the greatest treasure that has been given to us besides the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet. These two are the guidelines.
It's true.
We are not taking the lesson.
How can we remove hypocrisy from Muslim community? Very simple.
Very simple. The fear of God.
How would you create this?
Inna Allaha basirun bil ibad.
How would you create awareness among the people? Because there are so many hadiths of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam which are witness to the situation that you would be seeing, you would be watching the people who would be having knowledge, but they would not act upon those principles. Hypocrisy would emerge because of this. So how would you minimize, at least, if you cannot remove completely, how can you minimize this situation so that our youngsters can have proper guidance from Quran and Sunnah?
We come back to the same thing that I earlier spoke. God is an ethical being.
Yeah.
He behaves with his human beings in an ethical way.
Yeah.
For us to follow, imitate his attributes, the moment we do that, we start achieving perfection in all our characteristics.
Yeah.
But what we need to do is, first of all, to understand what Islam is.
Yeah.
We do not know what Islam is. We have a very distorted conception of God.
It's true.
You see, the concept of God, which has been given in the Quran, please make a survey and find out from people, generally, what is their concept of God? Nahnu aqrabu alayhi min hablil warid. He's closer to you than your jugular vein. Would I be doing anything wrong if I knew, from the ethics point of view, if I knew that God was as close to me as my jugular vein?
It's true.
So people have
Faith.
forgotten the basic concept of ethics. That's why we are a bit away from that. Like, we don't care about promise. We don't care about the other person, what he would be receiving message from my words. Careless speech or careless conversation may create societal problems. Quran says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. But we forgot this. What's meant by this? قُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. This is onward transmission, and this is a clear order.
Yes.
How to behave with each other. So manners have been removed, or manners have been kept away. And we see, if we are sitting together and we see any poor person or any we say in general language that he is ordinary person, or he doesn't have any sense of understanding of English language or some other languages.
Discrimination.
So we would want to pull his leg, or to make some jokes, or to use not to use words, but using body language, insulting others. We would say that, oh, we are following this fashion, this is societal ethics, or sort of supremacy would be shown. So Islam does not allow.
Forgetting the fact that al-khalqu ayalullah.
Yeah, al-khalqu ya Allah. And very true, very true.
Discrimination. It's
Yeah,
true.
so how do you say that once, if you, because you participate in big crowd Muslim culture and you recite Naat, there are so many Naat Khwan, there are so many people who sit there as an audience, ulama, scholars. Why don't you say something before recitation or presentation of Naat to the people? This is ethics and we should follow this. This would be a this would be really a justification.
No, it will be a very
to say
impressive.
something. But we start Naat, mashallah, this is good. But why not a hadith is presented before the people for ethics or for something, improvement in the community. So anyhow, I think we're running by the shortage of time, and this is time to say Khuda Hafiz or goodbye or say Allah Hafiz. But before this, I will have to follow our basic ethics in shape of vote of thanks. Brother Mustafa Fadil Ansari Saab, thank you very much for your participation and your academic contribution. And also Brother Nisar Ahmed Marfani, inshallah we would listen a beautiful naat from you, but in 2 sentences. One is that today's discussion is not only to watch this program. This is a message to act upon Quran and Sunnah to improve community ethics in the society, so that our non-Muslim brothers and sisters would turn their faces towards Quran and Sunnah, and tomorrow, inshallah, they would be with us. So, and last, I would request you to kindly recite Naat of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
I'm trying to read in Persian.
MashaAllah.
نمیدانم چه منزل بود نمیدانم چه منزل بود شب جایی که من بودم نمیدانم چه منزل بود شب جایی که من بودم بغیر سورخ سے بسمل بود شب جایی که من بودم نمیدانم چه منزل بود شب جایی که من بودم پری پیکر نگار سرو قد لالا رخسار پری پیکر نگار سرو قد لالا رخسار سراپا آفت دل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم نمیدانم چه منزل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم نمیدانم چه منزل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم رقیبا گوش بر آواز او در ناز من ترساں رقیبا گوش بر آواز او در ناز من ترساں سخن گفتن چه مشکل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم نمیدانم چه منزل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم خدا خود میر مجلس بود اندر لامکاں خسرو خدا خود میر مجلس بود اندر لامکاں خسرو محمد شم محفل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم نمیدانم 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 چه منزل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم بغیر سورت سے بسمل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم نمیدانم چه منزل بود خدا خود میر مجلس بود اندر لامکاں خسرو محمد شم محفل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم نمیدانم 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 چه منزل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم بغیر صورت سے بسمل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم نمیدانم چه منزل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم نمیدانم چه منزل بود شب جائے کہ من بودم